Rick Strom here, TYT Sports, with editor-in-chief of boxing.com, Robert Ecksel. Robert, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you, Rick?
I'm doing good. Juan Manuel Marquez has a November date to face pound-for-pound king Manny Pacquiao, but first he's fighting Likar Ramos in what many would call a tune-up fight. The scouting report on Ramos, 25-year-old southpaw from Colombia, 24-3 record, 18 knockouts, only a 10-round fight at 140 pounds. Of course, Juan Manuel's fight with Pacquiao is at a catchweight of 144. Is this a dangerous fight for Marquez, considering he has arguably the biggest fight of his life in just 4 months?
I don't believe so. I don't think Ramos is going to really cause Marquez much trouble. He's a good fighter, but he is not a great fighter. And Marquez needs to get in the ring. He needs some action. He's been inactive for 8 months. He got caught in some sort of promotional mess, so he had to sort of wait that out. So he really needs a tune-up, and a tune-up is a tune-up. I mean, I don't think there's going to be much risk.
Marquez is 37 years old. He hasn't fought since November 27th. He said he took the fight because he didn't want to come off a year of inactivity. Which option would have been better for Marquez? Taking this fight, again, 4 months before facing the best boxer in the world, or training hard and going into the fight away from the ring for almost a year?
Well, the problem is, I mean, he can train, he can spar, but sparring partners are not trying to knock your head off. That's not their job. Their job is to do really whatever it is that the main event fighter wants them to do. So sparring in a gym is not really comparable to an actual fight. In addition, Ramos is a lefty. He's a southpaw, like Pacquiao. So it will be a good preparation for Marquez.
And the last time Juan Manuel fought in Mexico was 1994. What does it mean to the Mexican people to see one of their most prized fighters back home in the ring?
No, it's a thrill. It's a complete thrill. The Mexicans completely love boxing. I mean, they don't follow football, they don't follow baseball, they don't follow all the other sports, but boxing is really like in the DNA of the Mexican people.
Now, you don't give Ramos, granted, anything can happen on any given night. You don't give Ramos much of a chance?
Not of winning. The greatest fear is that there's an accidental headbutt or something that might cause a cut. That would be a greater concern. But even a cut with 4 months' time, he'll be fine.
Now, Juan Manuel's brother, Rafael Marquez, will also be fighting the same night on the undercard. The last time they fought on the same night was 2006. Now, let's transition to the three judges who scored Paul Williams, Erislandy Lara's fight. Last week we talked about the awful decision the three judges came up with. The New Jersey State Athletic Control Board suspended the three judges indefinitely. All three will have to undergo more training to return to judging professional boxing. I get that they cannot reverse the decision. Is this the most extreme course of action, and was it the right course of action?
Well, it was the right course of action, but it was sort of a half step. Again, it sends the right message out to the public at large that boxing is not going to put up with some of this nonsense. But the New Jersey Commissioner, Aaron Davis, said that they had done an investigation and they uncovered no corruption. I don't know what kind of investigation they did in less than a week. Maybe they asked the three judges, is there corruption? And the judges said, no, there's no corruption, and so he signed off on it. But again, it's a start, and again, a start is better than nothing.
And Davis said they did not find, quote-unquote, any evidence of bias, fraud, corruption, or incapacity on the part of any judges. You talked a little bit about the investigation. It seemed short-lived. Should an outside authority be called in to investigate this fight?
Ideally, yes, but it's never going to happen. Boxing is very much a sort of a closed circle, and boxing, speaking of circles, has sort of circled the wagons. So they're not going to allow an outside entity to sort of enter into the inner circle and sort of mess with what boxing has going for itself.
Let's say you were the higher-up. Put your hat on for me. What would you have done differently?
Well, I would have suspended the judges. I think that was a correct move, but I would have actually launched an investigation, and a credible investigation, to find out what may or may not have been going on. But Atlantic City, like Las Vegas, is very dependent on gambling, and gambling is very dependent on gamblers and other suckers and people who run the casinos. It's not really the world in which the truth is going to emerge.
Now, Davis has said a rematch may be warranted. Is it even worth it for either fighter, specifically Paul Williams, to have a rematch?
it might be worth it for Paul Williams, but I don't think it's going to be worth it for Lara. I think Lara has bigger fish to fry. Lara made his point. I mean, his point is that he's a better fighter than Paul Williams, that he's on the rise and Williams is on the slide. So there's nothing to be gained by Lara fighting Williams again.
Lara said it, and he proved it again repeatedly with over-the-top left hands. But your opinion is it's worth it more for Paul Williams than for Lara?
Well, because it gives Paul Williams an opportunity to redeem himself if he were able to win. Whereas Lara doesn't need to be redeemed. He already won. I mean, he can just sort of use this as a stepping stone to go after bigger game. Whereas Williams, there is no bigger game at this point, except for Lara.
That's Robert Ecksel, editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. Robert, thank you for the time. We'll talk to you next week for Amir Khan Zab Judah. Should be a good one.
Look forward to it. See you then.